So you want to play Guardian? Well, my friend, it's time to set your shield and lay down the law, because today we're here to break down the hardest hitting heavies Flesh and Blood has to offer. Currently, there are 7 unique Guardian heroes in Classic constructed for you to choose from. Bravo, Betsy, Victor, Valda, Jarl, Lyeth, and Pleiades. This means there's a plethora of ways to engage with the Guardian class. Whether you want to freeze your opponent out of the game, break their will with disruptive attacks, or crush them off the face of the earth with one show-stopping finish, there's an unmovable unit with your name on it. Today we're going to focus on the core principles of the Guardian class and get you primed to play whichever flavor of big smack, big block suits your fancy. We'll talk about equipment, disruption, auras, and evasion before wrapping up with general strategy on how this all comes together, making the tankiest class in Flesh and Blood. Equipment. You never want to show up to a fight unprepared, and no one is more prepared than a Guardian. If you're a fan of chunky gauntlets and legendary shields, you've come to the right place. The Guardian equipment suite is extremely robust, full of battle-worn and temper pieces that can block multiple times throughout a game before breaking. And on top of that, they get to access more on-board defense than any other class with their signature offhand shields. This means that as a Guardian, you effectively start with an extra health bar that you can leverage whenever you want, whether you need to buy yourself an extra turn to send through a killing blow or stop an on-hit effect in its tracks. Your equipment is unmatched. But it's not just plate mail and bucklers. The Guardian's hammer is a force to be reckoned with. For just 3 resources, 1 blue card to the pitch, you can crack back for 4 damage without losing any cards out of your deck every single turn. This consistent value means you're very comfortable going the distance in any game. And if you want to ditch the shield to pick up something heavier, well, 2-handed Guardian weapons hit harder than almost every other weapon in the game, and are definitely the most consistent. Disruption. You know what they say, the best defense is a good, forcing your opponent to discard, taking away their go again, breaking their equipment, making their cards cost more, destroying their arsenal, milling their deck, and offense. Guardian attacks are as big as they come, and look to make use of their exclusive keyword, Crush. A single Crush attack can completely shut down your opponent's attacking turn. They swing for massive damage, and require even the most aggressive heroes to slam on the brakes, because if an attack with Crush deals 4 or more damage to them, they'll be subjected to some of the gnarliest effects Flesh and Blood has to offer. Take the infamous Spinal Crush, which swings for 9, and on Crush, your opponent will lose go again on pretty much everything, meaning they're only playing 1 card on their turn, slowing the game down, buying you time to set up for your next big smack. These attacks are expensive, so they take a bit of winding up to resolve, but Guardian has plenty of tools when it comes to setup. Auras. Behold, one of the most ancient auras in all of Flesh and Blood, dating back to the very first booster set. Welcome to Wraith, the Seismic Surge. This token aura is as iconic as it is essential to the Guardian game plan, reducing the cost of your heavyweight attacks when it's destroyed at the start of your turn. Setting up multiple Seismic Surge tokens is one of the most surefire ways to keep your defenses high, then send back a devastating swing with only 1 blue pitch card. But these aren't the only token auras Guardian likes to make. Stacking Might tokens allows Guardian attacks to tower even higher, and Confidence makes those huge attacks even harder to block. And it's not just tokens. Aura cards in Guardian will help bolster your defenses, reduce the cost of your cards, and most importantly, pile up damage onto one earth-shattering swing. So how do you make it all count? What's stopping your opponent from laying out their hand on defense and sending you back to square one? Evasion. The final piece of what makes Guardian tick. Dominate, overpower, confidence. Dominate, overpower, and confidence are all about forcing damage and your gnarly effects over the top. Dominating an attack with cards like Terra Sunder makes it so your opponent can't block with more than a single card from their hand, meaning their only saving grace from your Pulverize for 14 is their fragile equipment or a defense reaction from Arsenal. Overpower restricts your opponent to blocking with only 1 action card, and confidence makes you beautiful. And your opponent can only block with 2 non-block cards. So both confidence and overpower can situationally ruin your opponent's defensive strategy. I'm looking at you, Teklo. And while I may have joked about it at the top of this section, 2 floating in a Guardian's pitch is just about one of the scariest sights in all of Flesh and Blood. Pommel, while being generic, might as well be a Guardian card, as it perfectly targets not just attack action cards, but your hammer as well, bumping that perfect 4 damage crush threshold over the top of a blocked out attack with a sprinkle of discard a card. Strategy. As a Guardian, you want to control the pace of the game, forcing your opponents to play on smaller hands with diminishing returns. The longer the game goes, the more inevitable you become. You may have noticed that not only are your Guardian cards powerful, but they are expensive. This is remedied by your auras and tokens, but also by the fact that your blue cards are incredible. They block big, pitch for 3, and push damage and effects that other classes' red cards could only dream of dealing. This means that as your pitched blue cards slowly rise back to the top of your deck, your power level remains stalwart, while your opponent will most likely be grasping at straws. To successfully pilot a Guardian, you need to balance smart blocking decisions, knowing when to just block 9 and swing for 4 with your trusty hammer, or when to take some licks to send your disruption, buying space for an even bigger setup. Generally, you'll want to alternate in and out of a defensive stance, getting as much block value out of your hand as possible while doing some setup, like making some seismic surge tokens or parking a cheeky pummel in your arsenal. Then, once you're set, swing for the fences. Guardian is simple to pick up, with plenty to master. So if you want to become one of the great protectors of Wraith, pick up your shield, crush the enemy lines, and dominate your way to victory. We hope you enjoyed this quick overview of the Guardian class. And if you want to learn more about the other classes in Flesh and Blood, be sure to check out the rest of our How to Play videos here on the fabtcg YouTube channel. Till next time, thanks for watching.